Greetings, beloved human family. I am Gilles Mancillon. I thought I'd come and send blessing and to communicate with you today and pull out a few cards to look at what will happen in the next 6 weeks. It is somewhat of an oracle of potential possibilities. And so we just passed through a very powerful and potent full moon in Scorpio, so that was very, very powerful. I don't know how you felt it, but each and every day there should be the realization within your life that there is more peace coming into your life, more harmony, more joy, more love, and every day that has to grow, and the appreciation for each and every day should be continually increased. I also wanted to show this painting behind me. I haven't made any change, but it's my personal astrology. It's a self-portrait, but I think it's quite finished now. There was some cosmetic need. All the separation were somewhat of a DNA. It was in blue, then I went into silver, and now in red. And I do think it is quite harmonious. I already changed a few things as well. But I kind of like it. I thought I'm really happy when I can finish a painting. With all those paintings, when I started doing those paintings, I did it with the 10 major planets of the solar system, but eventually with each generation of painting, it's becoming more refined, more sophisticated, and so I will continue to do that. I'm going to pull out 12 cards, 13 cards actually, for the 12 constellation. And because we're going to be moving towards the Wesak moon, the moon of Wesak in Taurus, the full moon, the new moon in Taurus, the moon of the Buddha. So it is a very important and powerful new moon. And then we're going to have the solstice that will be coming on the 21st. So first the Aries. Aries is the potential. But in Greek mythology, Aries was a ram. He was a very intelligent, very wise, and he could fly through the air. One day there was so he was a mystic being, and so one day he was trapped by a man, and the man killed him and made an offering to Zeus, and Zeus appreciated that, and so what happened is that he made this toison d'or. I'm sorry, I don't have the words in English, but it was stolen by Jason and the Argonauts. It's the skin of that ram that's all made out of gold. So a few years ago, I questioned all that stories, and I realized that. This was actually made with this skin was left for a couple of years inside a river called the Pactol, and this river was full of gold. So when they pulled it out, it was a gold. It was like a gold clothing, like a gold cloth, so to speak. And so this is basically the symbol of power and prosperity. Whoever wears it becomes powerful and prosperous. And here we have, as far as potential, is participation. It means we are participating in something greater than ourselves, and we have invisible helpers that come and help us, assist us. It is also talking about beautiful energy that can come into our life. We have to cultivate, to be gentle with ourselves in order to cultivate those energies. Then Taurus here is what belongs to us materially and spiritually. So happy birthday to all the Taurus. From a mythological point of view, the Taurus was a white bull with golden horn that. It was Zeus who transformed himself into this bull to seduce a woman named Europe. Then eventually he managed to seduce her, and she climbed on her back, and he flew out to Crete. And then there is a long story about that, but essentially, and here we have victory. We have achieved victory, and so we should enjoy that. Enjoy the fact that small victories can be appreciated for that mixed space for higher level of success and integration. After that, Gemini is what we think, all our mental process are traveling from a mythological standpoint, it is Castor and Pollux, the two twins. One of them was mortal, the other one was immortal. Pollux was immortal because he was the son of Zeus, and in essence they were always together. Always there was total loyalty, total sincere devotion to one another. Even in death, they could not be separated. That's why Zeus put them up there. And here we have healing, so we are thinking, we are allowing the healing to come through the mind, to come through the understanding in order to achieve that healing. Then Cancer is what we feel, it's the home, it's the environment. From a mythological standpoint, he was a huge lobster that was sent by Hera to bite Heracles. It was kind of an obstacle that she sent there, but it's so it is a part. It is basically what is inner to ourself. It is the inner self, and here we have silence. So this good. It's good to find this peace, this crystallization of potential within the silence. Within the silence, there is all things. Silence is bigger than the universe. Even it encompasses all. So the more we are able to create the silence within our mind and continue to breathe to make our breath more conscious, to listen to our breath, so we can bring everything into alignment and everything flows naturally. So there should be peace within the home this coming months. Then comes the Leo. Leo, from a here it's what's going on within the heart in terms of astrology. But in mythology, it was the lion of Neme, which was the first of Heracles' deed. There was this lion that was the son of Typhoon, yeah, in English, which is a great negative archetype from Greek mythology, and this lion was indestructible. No arrow could touch him, and so Heracles eventually smothered him, and then kept his skin to use as a protection for the rest of his journey. And here within our heart, we are going with the flow. It is love. It is the ability to allow ourselves to move into this continuous flow of non-resistance. So it is wonderful. Allow this love to come from your heart and enjoy it, share it, take care of it, and nurture it, cultivate it. Then the Virgo is a goddess named Astrea from a mythological standpoint. She used to live with men in the golden age of Greece, but then Pandora came and men became corrupted, and so she left the world of men and moved into this great sphere of the Virgin, the purity, and in essence, what in this tarot, it is how we nourish ourselves, when we feed ourselves. And here we have isolation. It's about dissolving all the veils that separate from ourselves, that separate us from others. And so it is very important to allow yourself to feel sad, to cry if necessary, for that is the release. This is to allow all those negative things to go out of you. But it is not by resisting that we achieve the liberation. It's by allowing it. So do not be concerned if you have if there are things that, in terms of nourishment, we will eventually, once we allow that to happen and we dissolve all those veils and barriers that separate us from ourselves and others, then we find the sun, we find innocence, we find the great mastery, we find the great ecstasy of being connected to all of that which is, and beyond even. Then we move into Libra. Libra is none other than Themis in terms of mythology, the great goddess of justice. And in this reading, it represents all the social astrology. It's all the world, all the relationship to relationship, as well as the social, the business, all the agreements that we make with others. But in essence, everything is relationship. We have a relationship to ourselves, to our body, to our work, to our dream, to others, and everything is relationship. And so here we have playfulness. So it shows that there will be great potential for amusement, for joy, for fun. So do enjoy it with this coming of spring in the Northern Hemisphere. There will be a new sense of joy in all realm of sociability and possibility. Then we move into the Scorpio. The Scorpio, from an astrological point of view, it is what comes from the inner depths of the subconscious. From a mythological perspective, it is the story of this great giant being that was beautiful named Orion, and but at some point Orion tried to abuse Artemis, and so she didn't like that very much. She sent him a Scorpio to bite him, and he died. But Zeus really liked him, so he ascended him into this constellation as well as the Scorpio. But you will, if I'm correct, I think the Scorpio and Orion will never be up in the sky at the same time. For Zeus made sure that those things would not happen. And here we have to confront all aspects of duality. For we have to. Duality is very uncomfortable, but the key is unity. With unity, we can dissolve all separation. The thing is, we have to face ourselves and all of the tests that we are sent to ourselves, all the past life, all the invisible energies of the subconscious, to eventually, that once we allow that to be processed, then we find existence, which is our true self, which is the all that is, our beingness within all that is, in perfect state of contemplation. So there will be things to process coming from the inside, but the challenge is to move from separation to unity, from fear into love, from agitation into serenity. But those things are in the process. You want to trust that it is happening, and to allow yourself to pass through that as fast as possible without much resistance, if possible. Then the Sagittarius is none other than the immortal center Chiron, the great teacher, the healer. He's the only center that was eternal. Although he gave up his immortality because he was wounded, but his wound would never heal, and he knew that. So eventually he gave his immortality to Pele, I believe. But Zeus made him one of these, eternalized him in this great big constellation. And here we have sharing it, and in astrology it is about our laws, our concern, our philosophy. It's about sharing, about teaching, about helping, about being conscious to free ourselves from the world of form in a way, but yet remaining in connection with all those things of the world, so that we can help and assist. For love cannot be indifferent to things, and so as we grew up in our love, we will see more ways that we can assist and help without having to carry other people's on our back, of course, but to remind them of those things that they need to understand in order for them to free themselves. Then we go into Capricorn. Capricorn, in astrology, the constellation of Capricorn is what comes from the Great Mother, what comes from the universe. From a mythological standpoint, it is a goat that is named Amalte. She was the one who nursed Zeus when he was young. He was raised by nymph, and this goat was actually the one that gave him the milk that he needed to grow and become a man. And so at some point, one day he was playing the goat, and he broke one of her horn, and so he gave the horn to the nymph, telling them that whatever they need, they will always be able to find it within that horn, and that's what it's called, the horn of abundance in mythology. And here we are burdened. So basically what it says is that we are given those burdens so that we become aware and we can free ourselves from those burdens. It is someone that's carrying another man on his shoulder, and there is a rooster on top of his head. So it is about not carrying burdens, not to allow other people to burden ourselves, or to let go of all those things that are heavy and that are problematic for us. For there will be a reborn. See, everything, there's going to be quite a process. The first thing is that we're going to be able to discover, to face our fear, and to be reborn into something greater. Then we'll come into a situation that will be quite enjoyable, but it's we'll find a comfort zone, but from that comfort zone we won't be able to stay too long in that comfort zone, because the universe is gonna bring about the sender that's gonna move us outside of the zone. And that is why is the universe doing that? To bring us to the dream. The dream is the manifestation of the highest potential life. So you got to trust what is going on, and to know that everything has meaning and reason, and so not to be in judgment, to allow yourself to pass through those things with grace and ease, and from there things will flow, and we will definitely be able to manifest those great sense of connection that we are looking for. In Aquarius, here is the dreams, the desire, the friends. It's all the dreams, basically. But from a mythological standpoint, it's connected to Ganymede. Ganymede was a beautiful man, and Zeus fell in love with him. He transformed himself into an eagle and kidnapped him and brought him to the Olymp. And then he's been working with Hebe, the goddess Hebe, to make the nectar and take care of the ambroisie, which was the nourishment of the god, the elixir of immortality. That's why he's the water carrier. And here we have, in our dreams, we have this awareness. It is about this higher light that is coming from within, and that is a creative, active force that can move us anywhere we need to. And then the Pisces, here it's the karma in this reading, but in mythology, I think it was the story of Aphrodite and Cupido. They were pursued by the typhoon again. Once again, this great big monster, and there were two fish that were there that allowed them to cross the river and escape typhoon, and so it was greatly appreciated. And for us, what is our karma? It is patience. It is the ability to wait, the ability to know that all things will come to those who can wait, those who can be patient. For the rewards of patience is patience, and once you get patience, there is no more hurry, because you're already there. So those are great lessons, and the outcome for this month is aloneness. It means being able to shine your light. No matter where you go, you can shine your light. Doesn't mean that you cannot enjoy other people's company, but we're learning to be really good company for ourselves when we are alone, and to be even better company. The more we are good company to ourselves, the better our company to others will manifest as well. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you, or just I wanted to pass by and wish you a good continuation in this spring. Here it's very warm here in Normandy. I'm going to finish with just I had all kinds of opera songs that are going through my mind, but my throat is not really good enough, so I'm just going to finish with a little song. It's called Fever. Never know how much I love you, never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, fever all through the night. Sun light up the daytime, moon light up the night. I light up when you call my name, and you know I'm gonna treat you right. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, fever all through the night. Well, thank you very much. I wish you a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.